Hey, hi, how you doing? This is the Gamertron, and welcome back to the Gamertron Show. You know, when it comes to movies are so limited. That's something I've noticed. Cinema, television, and movies, they're so limited. They're so limited in what they can do, especially if they want to do something that's fantastical, such as science fiction or medieval fantasy, or something unique and bizarre. If films want to do something, if they want to do something big, something fantastical, something magical, something jaw-dropping, awe-inspiring, if they want to do something that's creative and crazy, they rarely ever can. Movies are so limited by special effects and the budget and screening and just a dozen other different issues that it takes to create a film. Now, when it comes to video games have an ability very similar to novels where they have the capability to go wild. They're free. They're free with their creative ideas and what they can put on the screen. For instance, an author can literally write anything, bring anything to life, and that's similar to a video game. You're not limited. Well, of course you are limited by budget, but creatively, you are not limited by the budget. Video games can be creative and go crazy, and I believe video games should be creative and go crazy. Be creative and crazy with your story, with your setting, with your characters, with the gameplay, with whatever. Go wild, go nuts. Don't feel held back because of realism or appealing to a wider audience. You have a video game on your hands, and with a video game, you can do amazing things. You can bring amazing worlds to life. You can bring amazing settings and set pieces to life. So why not? You're not hindered. Creatively, your imagination is allowed to let go. Be free. You want to tell a big, epic, grandiose story? Do it. You can do it. You want to create this big action scene in your video game, or you want to create this scene or gameplay section that is different from the rest of the game? Go ahead. It's why I love video games. I find creative and unique stories in settings in video games. Settings that are creative and crazy and just would never, ever make it on film. And as proven by many a terrible video game movie, that when video game stories and movies are tried to emulate it on the silver cinematic screen, it just doesn't work. Because video games and their stories and settings are a beast of their own. You just can't do it. You can't translate that story and setting into a movie. It was created in a video game. It belongs and stays in a video game. The video game you have been watching gameplay of during this video, the Bureau XCOM Declassified, has a wonderfully creative and crazy story and setting. Set in the 1960s, an alien invasion is occurring, and the secret organization called XCOM, the Bureau, must work to keep America safe and keep the secret of this alien invasion hidden from the public, while going on these dangerous, action-packed missions where dozens of shootouts with aliens occur in order to save the world. If this story and setting was attempted to be brought to the big screen, I can almost guarantee you that it would not be nearly as creative or interesting or as fun as the video game. The film adaptation of this would probably be extremely cheap and boring and lacking those mesmerizing shootouts with aliens, and probably be replaced with more scenes of just talking about random stuff or just walking through a scene for a couple minutes. Video games can afford to be creative and crazy. Yes, I know I'm repeating myself, but I want to get my point across. I want you guys to understand. I want not just you, the viewer, but any video game developers who happen to see this video. I believe that video games, your video game, shouldn't be shackled down by realism or trying to appeal to a wider audience. Make the game you want to make. Let your ideas run wild and be free, and put them into your video game the best that you can. Hell, the reason I love video games so much more than movies and books, and why I'm so much more interested and entertained by video games, is the creativity of video games and how crazy they can be. How I get to see fantastical stories and settings and characters that film failed to create or provide. Look at the amazing stories video games have provided us, such as Spec Ops: The Line, BioShock, LA Noire, Deus Ex, Human Revolution, Wolfenstein: The New Order, Primordia, Mass Effect, and the list goes on and on. Dragon Age Inquisition, Portal 2, Life is Strange, Fable, Fallout, Skyrim. List just goes on of amazing video game stories that movies have failed to provide any sort of inkling of resemblance of. And then we have the amazing settings found in video games, such as the game you are seeing gameplay of, the Bureau XCOM Declassified, which combines the atmosphere and the culture of America in the 1960s and combining it well with intimidating industrial alien technology and alien invasion tropes and images. Then we have the amazing BioShock games, Rapture, Columbia. Yeah, some real jaw-dropping settings there. Never seen a movie quite match those, have we? Now, don't get me started on the amazing video game characters we have. No, seriously, I'm not even going to get started on names, because we'll be here all day. Video games just provide so much more and can provide so much more. So I say to video game developers everywhere, don't hold back. Don't hold back on your creativity and your craziness. Look what happens when it's let run wild, when it's unleashed upon the world. We are given magnificent video games with creative stories, settings, characters. Things that will stay in our memory, in our brains, in our hearts, that will remain as a part of our lives till the day we die. Video games can have that effect. So, hopefully, basically, what I'm getting at is developers everywhere, video game developers everywhere, make the game you want to make. Don't feel restricted. I know I'm repeating myself here, and I apologize. Don't feel restricted by realism or trying to make your game as realistic as possible, and don't feel held down by trying to appeal to a wider audience. If your game is good, then it will sell well. It will get attention. Look at Minecraft. Look at Five Nights at Freddy's. Look at Warframe. Look at League of Legends. Both indie and budget developers, you guys can make a mint, you guys can get popular, you guys can get big if you just don't hold yourself back to certain demographics. Don't try to be the next Call of Duty, the next modern military multiplayer shooter. Don't always try to go for realism. Yes, there are gamers out there who want video games to be realistic and want realistic video games, but only make your game realistic if you want it to be realistic, if it's the game you want to make. And guys, don't try to appeal to a wider audience. If your game is a good game, again, Minecraft, Five Nights at Freddy's, Warframe, if your game is a good game, it will catch on, it will get attention, it will get popular. Just make the game you want to make. Be creative, be crazy, make your video game yours. This has been the Gamertron. This has been the Gamertron Show. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Please hit the like button if you did like the video in any way, shape, or form. Hitting the like button helps me, helps you, helps everybody involved with the video. If you hit that like button, please leave a comment. I love getting comments. I don't get nearly enough comments on my videos, so please leave a comment, your thoughts. What'd you think of the gameplay? What'd you think of XCOM, the Bureau XCOM Declassified? What'd you think of this game that I showed gameplay of? What do you think of the game? What do you think of what I talked about in the video? What are your thoughts and feelings? Let me know in the comment section below. Please leave a comment. And finally, I am the Gamertron. This is the Gamertron Show. I love video games, and I love talking about video games. And if that's something that interests you, please consider subscribing to my channel and supporting me. This has been a video, and I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I will see you guys later.